this one's going to need coffee. If you're unfamiliar with Expedition 33 Clair Obscur, or Clair Obscur Expedition 33, it's a turn-based JRPG where you follow Gustav, Mael, and Lune, as well as the rest of Expedition 33, to take down the Paintress, a painting lady who every year paints a new number. This year is 33, and everyone who is that age dies. They just, boom, Thanos snaps out of existence. It's brutal. So, of course, the people with a year left to live, they send off on a voyage and say, go take down the Paintress right now so all of us can stop dying and we can actually live our lives. A valiant effort kind of makes sense. We want people to stop dying. Now, let's not bury the meat. We can skip past the potatoes until later. The combat. It is turn-based combat, which I know might turn some of you off, but hold on. Wait a minute. There's more. Yes, when attacking, it's turn-based. You can see the entire attack order on the left-hand side of the screen, so you know what's coming. That's great. We love a little transparency. But when you start attacking, there are quick time events, so hit this button at this time to boost your attack. Now, you can turn these off in the settings. You can just make it to where they're automatically hit. Some people don't like QTEs. I get it, right? That's totally up to you. When your attacks end and the enemy attacks start, you gotta pay attention because you can actively dodge, perfect dodge, parry, and jump out of the way of your enemy attacks. And if you perfect parry an attack, you will then counterattack. And if you jump out of the way of an unblockable attack and then hit RT, which again is the controller, the trigger, you as a group will then counterattack. So this isn't just, oh, turn-based, you click your turn and then you go heat up some soup, maybe take a nap, go take a shower, and then you come back and it's your turn. No, you've got to be active. You've got to pay attention. All right? You are in this. You've got to put on your reading glasses, turn up that zoom, and pay attention. You understand what I'm saying? And the same applies, of course, for any team-based attack. So if you're fighting an enemy that does an AoE attack and you parry it, your entire team will perfect parry and then launch a joint attack, which does insane damage and is fantastic to watch. Now, when we're discussing these characters, you do have a pretty good amount of customization. So you have these items called pictos, which essentially are like mods for your characters. Think about them as, I don't know, little attachments that you put on your armor, and each one has a little buff. So one might boost your dodge. One might improve the damage you do on your attack if the enemy is burning. One might boost the heal efficiency when you use a healing ability. Yeah, you get the idea. They're attachments you can wear 3 at a time, and each one does different abilities. But the abilities, called Lumina, can be learned from these picto. So if you use a picto and you win a certain amount of battles or a certain condition is met, then you can learn the ability without having the picto equipped. So then that allows you to kind of customize pictos and Lumina. There's a lot of depth there. And of course, there is a skill tree, which, whether it's for the full game or just the demo, is pretty extensive. As you can see, you can have a max of 6 skills equipped at a time, but of course, you can swap those out as you unlock them through this skill tree. Every time you level up, you get skill points, or if you kill certain enemies or progress to certain story points, you get skill points. Some of these abilities are pretty OP. Me being me, of course, I scrolled to the very bottom where you unlock like the top tier, these cost everything abilities, and oh boy, they are brutal and they are awesome. You'll notice that some of these skills have descriptions of, oh, does this sort of damage and has a chance to light on fire or inflict with weakened or whatnot. Certain skills with one character might affect an enemy with a status that another character can then detonate or combo, or maybe you light an enemy on fire with Lune and then Gustav's ability does double the damage if that enemy is burning already. So there's a lot of depth when it comes to figuring out, okay, which pictos do I want equipped because they inherently make my attacks light them on fire, or they slow the enemy. And then Lune or Mael does triple damage against slowed enemies. You really got to take that into account. Future Morgan here. I don't know how I missed this, but the music, the score, the soundtrack that kicks in with each battle, the environmental music that plays every time you go into a new zone. Listen, I'll play some. That's it. It's great. I'll play some. It is breathtaking. There are also different weapons you can discover, whether that's from beating bosses, completing challenges. These weapons will drop at different levels, and as you can see, with a higher level weapon, you unlock different abilities. The higher the weapon level, the better the ability that you can unlock. Now, of course, it's an RPG, so you have the attribute system, or if you're a Souls-like fan, the things you level up. Your character levels up, so you level up might and vitality and defense and all the things that mess with your stats to make you more defensive or have higher health or higher speed or luck, which increases your crit chance. You know the drill. This is an RPG. When it comes to attributes and skills, you can also reset them. There are items that you can pick up throughout the world that allow you to reset your attributes, your skill trees, so you can go back, kind of mess with which skills you want to unlock. Choose how you play. Again, it's an RPG. That's what we want. We want customization, and there's plenty of it. Now, the skills, the attributes, and resting in terms of, okay, save, rest, heal myself, all take place at these rest flags. These are reset points, which then reset the enemy encounters as well as heal your entire party. But this is not a Souls-like. There are no souls you drop. If you die, there's no currency you have to go pick up or some checkpoint that you have to get to. The only thing you're left with after dying is the shame of knowing that you got beaten. So even though you don't have to go back and pick up any items, you kind of have to go back and beat that enemy so you don't have to live with that shame and then your family's going to laugh at you and whatnot. But I digress. I don't even think I need to talk about this much. The visuals, I mean, you're looking at it. Look at the screen as I'm talking to you. It looks immaculate. We're in 2025. Unless we're some stylized pixel art or just intentional cartoony look, this looks immaculate. It is incredible. You will stop and be like, oh my God, take a photo right now. In the demo, there's no photo mode, at least not one that I could find. But I imagine with these visuals, they're going to implement one or have it at release. They better. I'm going to go reach out right now and say, add a photo mode because you need it. Look at this. And the different environments. You'll stop. You'll walk slowly. I was sprinting through some environments and I intentionally stopped and started walking slowly because I didn't want to miss out on what I was seeing. It is that gorgeous where you just want to stop and say, you know what? Let's take this in. Let's grab our coffee, take a sip. You know what? Let's take 2 or 3 sips. Let's just take it all in because we have a beautiful game on our hands, and that is something to appreciate. The world map feature is so cool. I know other games have had it in the past where when you're going in between certain zones, it'll zoom out, your character will be smaller, you'll kind of be like an overhead view, and you'll be running to your destination. Like in between the different explorable zones, you can see enemies on this map. You can see the checkpoint that you're headed towards, but it's like an overhead world view. It's really enjoyable. It's the first game for me that I've ever played that's had that, but I know it's not a new feature in gaming, period. That'll probably get a nice nostalgia hit for a lot of you. I personally love the variety in the characters with Gustav, Mael, and Lune. They are very different, and you can see the struggle with all of them, particularly Gustav and Lune right now. There's no perfect character. Some games have a lead character where they are just an immovable, impenetrable pillar of goodness and righteousness. They know what they are doing is right. They show no signs of struggle, which sometimes can work, sort of. Most of the time, it doesn't. So seeing Gustav struggle with his decisions, struggle with knowing what the right thing to do is, but also juggling his emotions and how he feels, it is immensely human. And that really sells the emotion behind the story. You're watching these cutscenes and you're watching the story unfold, and you can easily place yourself in the shoes of the characters because you tell yourself, yeah, that's how a human actually reacts. They wouldn't just brush it off and say, nope, we're good. Move along. Let's go. No, they are struggling with what they know they should do, but they're terrified or they're scared to lose anyone else. And it is beautiful. Not to mention, Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox, voices Gustav. And oh man, if you've watched Daredevil on Netflix or the Daredevil Born Again, you know Charlie Cox sells emotion. He sells that hurt, that pain, betrayal. The man brings it home. Now, I know this video has been a whole slurp fest, but honestly, if the full game delivers more of what the demo brings, it's going to be a Game of the Year contender for me personally. I hope they do more marketing. I know they've done a decent amount. People need to play this. It is incredible. It's from a smaller studio, and the work they've done is incredible. Oh my God. It's not a full price game. It's $50. Right now it's $44.99 on Steam. So if you pre-order it, $44.99, which again, in an age of $70 games, that's a $25 discount. Sign me up. Yes, this will be a day one purchase. Give me more. I want to see where this story is going. I want to see where these characters are going. I actually thought about how I thought the game is going to end. I was on the toilet. It's true. You have your best thoughts on the toilet. I think I know how the game is going to end, or at least how a character came to be. There's a character that's introduced, and I think I know where they came from. And if I'm right, it's going to be so cool. I want to see where this story goes. I really do, because I'm enjoying the game so much. I'm thinking about it when I'm not playing it. And when I'm playing it, I'm thinking about how amazing it is and how I want to play more. And I know it doesn't come out until April, but man, I wish it came out next week. What an amazing time for gaming. I have this, then I have Split Fiction coming out in 2 days as of this recording. This game comes out next month. Keep an eye out for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It is worth it. If you have somebody who has it, try it. If you can get your hands on a demo or you can watch some gameplay, it is so cool. That's the thing. It is a cool-ass game. It is a game that makes you stop and go, whoa, that's awesome. And that's not always common. There's good games, right? But delivering a good, polished game, a beautiful game with a good story, good voice acting, and then every once in a while throughout the story, it's just like, oh, that's sick. Yeah, we like that, right? You love having a moment of, oh, that's badass. You know it. We all want that. So let me know what you think. Is this going to be a pre-order for you or a day one buy? Or are you going to wait, 2 weeks to purchase it, which is fair. You know what? You never know these days. I know because I've played the demo, but again, you still never know. So what are you thinking? Is this looking good? It's going to be a day one purchase for me, but I want to hear what you have to say. Go subscribe to stay up to date. I'm going to be posting a ton about it because I love it so far. Go and comment. Let me know what you're excited for. Is there anything else that you're excited for? So let's say you're already getting this. What other games are you excited for? Because 2025 is an insane year for gaming. Holy shit. So let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay caffeinated, and you have a good day.